Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, you know what to do, and if you're returning, welcome. So today I just wanted to keep this video serious, and it is not going to be that much because I just wanted to touch on a subject that I feel like people are misinterpreting. So today I'm going to be talking about Black is King. So if you don't know what Black is King is, it is Beyonce's visual album for her latest album. It's basically visuals for her album, and it was released on the 31st of July, but it premiered in South Africa on the 1st of August. So I feel like some people are misinterpreting the intentions or what Beyonce was trying to do on Black is King, or what she actually did, because she didn't try to do it, she did it. Beyonce, usually, if you don't know who Beyonce is, which I don't know how you don't know Beyonce. She is an American singer-songwriter, and she is a big deal in the entertainment industry. So the first misconception that I noticed was that people thought that Beyonce's Black is King was going to be a movie. And I understand how they made that misconception about that, because I couldn't watch the actual visuals because I didn't have access to it at the time. So I only know about the trailer. When you're watching the trailer, it looks like it's going to be a very interesting movie about Africa and whatnot. But it was actually a trailer for her visual albums. Now, if you don't know Beyonce, or you don't know how Beyonce usually does her thing or her work, she usually has visuals for an album that she released. Like, this is what Beyonce has been doing since I don't know how long, because Beyonce has been in the game. So I don't understand how people would think that she would produce a movie. Like, well, I would like expect her to produce a movie if she wanted to, but I knew in my head that it was actually going to be visuals for an album or anything that she was trying to produce, because Beyonce is, at the end of the day, an artist, and she is a musician. So I still don't understand how people made the misconception that it was going to be a movie, and they got upset because it wasn't actually a movie but rather visuals for her album. So if you know Beyonce, she has been doing visuals for her albums. It's like the one thing that I love about Beyonce, because it's like music videos that tell a story, you know? Like, since B-Day, I know of B-Day Deluxe Edition that she released in 2007, where every single song had a music video, you know, like from Get Me Bodied to Sugar Mama to Green Light. Every single song had its own music video. The album wasn't narrating a specific story, but rather each song had its own specific music video. She also did it on Lemonade. I also didn't get the opportunity to watch the visuals for Lemonade, but I'm guessing that she also made visuals for Lemonade. I think she did, yes. And also this time she made visuals for her album, Black is King. I love the trailer so much because it incorporated different African cultures with African people. You know, it's not like she was wearing an African attire alone and there was no one there. So this leads me to my second misconception that I noticed that people made, is that they thought that Beyonce was appropriating African culture. I don't know how that makes sense, but people thought that Beyonce was appropriating African culture. Now, the first thing that I would like to say is that you do not know Beyonce's ancestry. Okay, you do not know Beyonce's ancestry. You don't know her line of ancestors. You don't know whether if the cultures that she was displaying on her visuals were actually her own cultures. Because, in case you didn't know, the reason that there are black people in America is because of the triangular slave trade. Now, if you've watched the visuals, you would notice that most of the cultures that are displayed there are West African and Central African. And that is because the slave trade mainly took African people from West Africa and Central Africa, if I am not mistaken. So now I would never blame Beyonce for trying to display West African cultures or Central African cultures, because those were the dominant cultures that I saw from the trailer, because I couldn't watch the visuals. I need to keep repeating this because some people may get very heated or whatever. But from the trailer, I could see that it was mainly Central African and West African cultures that were displayed. Now, I'm going to link down below a thread that I saw on Instagram, but it was made on Twitter, about the different African cultures that were displayed and the reasons, or like the background stories of the cultures that were displayed there. And I also wanted to add on and ask, why is it that whenever something has to do with the display of rituals that are done by African people, it turns to a discussion about being demonic. Especially by people that claim to be Christian and born again Christians, they like to make it seem as if every single African culture or every single African ritual that has to do with our ancestors or thanking our ancestors or whatever it may be, worshipping our ancestors. That's what most people would say about worshipping our ancestors, that it is demonic. And it's like, not everything has to do with religion. Not everything has to do with religion. Sometimes traditions are very vital in someone's life. There are certain traditions, or in certain cultures, when you don't do a specific tradition, your life will not be the way that it's supposed to be. You will see a lot of complications in your life because of the specific ritual that you didn't do. So I don't understand how people say that Beyonce was displaying the demonic, something about demons, and it's like, just because someone is displaying anything that has to do with Africa or anything that has to do with certain African cultures, it doesn't have to be demonic. Yes, you saw the goat's horns or something, but they are very symbolic in some cultures. Sometimes the certain symbols or the certain traditions that are done in African cultures don't have to be demonic, because when you Google demonic stuff, you find that they use the goat's horns or whatever the case may be. Not everything is demonic. So please stop trying to create something that is not there. Now, why are people saying that Beyonce is appropriating African culture when she's actually appreciating it? Because people tend to think that Africans are poor, hungry, and whatnot, as if they are not people, as if they don't have their own cultures, as if they don't have their own rituals that they do. And I know that in Africa we have 54 countries and maybe double cultures or tribes, because I don't think there's an African country that has one specific tribe or culture. Or now I'm saying African because I am African, and a lot of the things that we do as Africans are similar, but there are rituals that are different, and the different ways that we do things, but they are extremely similar. Like duke wearing, we also have duke wearing in Xhosa and other African cultures, but the way that she wore it was in terms of, I'm not sure which tribe, but I am pretty sure that it's either a West African tribe or a Central African tribe. So we don't know Beyonce's ancestry. Ne? I love how she portrayed the way that Africans actually are, like the way that Africans operate, the way that African cultures are. Because it wasn't like she decided that, you know what, today I just want to create a visual about Africa and not have any African person in it or any African person to tell me the history about it, you know? I feel like Beyonce was being told just how to wear things. Like she was being educated while creating that art that she created. Like it's not like she just decided to do something about what she doesn't know. I'm pretty sure that she was educated about what she was doing, and she was rather appreciating than appropriating the certain African cultures that were displayed there. Now, I don't want someone to come and tell me that she was appropriating it because she's American and they're trying to use Africa as an aesthetic or whatnot, because that's not what she did. That's not how I interpreted it. And I feel like a lot of people interpreted it that way. If when you thought that Beyonce was appropriating African culture, then I don't know whom does it, because it's not like Beyonce was maybe someone who had no African blood or no African history behind her, because at the end of the day, she is African American. So I don't want to hear that discussion about Beyonce is appropriating African culture or she tricked people into thinking that it was going to be a movie, because she didn't. She did not. I feel like I also saw a post that said that it was going to be a visual album or visuals for something, because I didn't see any post that said that it was going to be a movie. So I don't know how people made the misconception that it was going to be a movie. I don't. So yeah, that's just my rant about Black is King. It was very beautiful. I also watched the Already music video. So yeah, it was very beautiful. It displayed what Africa really is, how different people and different tribes and different cultures in Africa operate. And I highly appreciate Beyonce for doing that, because not a lot of people put attention in Africa. People think that Africa is a country. Africa is not a country. It's a continent with 54 countries. Get it into your head. Thank you for watching. If you've made it this far. I hope you've learned something, and I hope your perspective of thinking has changed. If you notice something that I didn't mention or that I didn't notice, please leave a comment down below on what you thought about Black is King. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this. So yeah, I think that's it.